Welcome to Scary Bedtime Stories, where we delve into the world's most spine-chilling tales that will keep you awake long after the lights go out. Tonight, we uncover the unsettling case of the woman in the window, a true event that will send shivers down your spine. Are you ready to face the unknown? It was a cold autumn evening in 2017. James, a 32-year-old architect, had just moved into an old Victorian house on the outskirts of town. The house had been vacant for years. Its peeling paint and sagging roof whispered secrets of decay, and an unsettling aura surrounded it, like the house itself was holding its breath. The locals whispered rumors about it, strange noises, flickering lights, and something about the attic window. Some claimed to see movement late at night. A figure staring down, unblinking, watching. The former owners left without explanation, abandoning everything inside. James brushed it off. He didn't believe in ghost stories. His first night was uneventful, until midnight struck. A soft tapping echoed through the halls. Tap, tap, tap. It was rhythmic, deliberate, almost beckoning. He followed the sound to the living room, but nothing was there, just shadows shifting under the dim glow of his lamp. The air was heavy, thick with something unseen. Dismissing it as settling wood, he returned to bed. But then he saw it, a silhouette in the attic window. His breath hitched, and he felt a chill crawl down his spine, deeper than any draft. It must be a trick of the light, right? He muttered to himself. But deep down, unease settled in, gnawing at him like a whisper in the dark. The following night, the tapping returned, louder this time. Tap, tap, tap. James grabbed a flashlight and climbed the creaking stairs to the attic, each step groaning under his weight, as if the house protested his presence. Dust floated in the stale air. Boxes lined the walls, and a single chair sat by the window. Empty. Or so he thought. He ran his fingers over the chair's worn fabric, feeling an unnatural chill seeping into his skin, his pulse pounding in his ears. As he turned to leave, a whisper grazed his ear. "Help me!" James spun around, heart hammering. No one was there. But in the window's reflection, he saw her, a woman in a white dress, eyes hollow, lips trembling. She stood frozen, staring at him from inside the glass. Her pale face was streaked with something dark, something that looked like dried tears of blood, and her hands pressed against the glass, leaving smeared, desperate prints. He bolted downstairs, locking the attic door behind him. His hands trembled as he called his best friend, Mark. Mark arrived within minutes. "James, you look like you've seen a ghost. What's going on?" James hesitated, then pointed to the attic. "There's someone up there. I swear it." Mark laughed it off. "It's an old house, man. Probably just your imagination." Reluctantly, they climbed back up together. The attic was silent. The chair by the window, empty again. But the smell of lilacs filled the air, thick and cloying, wrapping around them like a suffocating embrace. Then they noticed something. A dusty old photo lying on the floor. James picked it up, his fingers shaking. His breath hitched. It was the woman. The same hollow eyes, the same white dress. A note scrawled beneath it in faded ink. "She watches from the window. She waits for him to return." Mark shivered. "Maybe you should leave this place, James." But James was determined. He had to know more. Over the next few days, he researched the house's history. It once belonged to a widow named Eleanor. She was last seen staring from that very attic window. 50 years ago, her husband vanished without a trace. The townspeople claim she waited for him to come home from war. He never did. They said she withered away, haunting the house in sorrow, searching for him. James couldn't shake the feeling that she was still waiting, watching, hungry for someone to take his place. One night, curiosity got the better of him. He sat in the attic chair, staring into the darkness outside. Hours passed. And then, a whisper again. "Help me, please." James turned slowly. The woman was inches away now, her eyes wide, mouth moving silently. Her hands clutched his shoulders, ice cold. But something was different. Her reflection in the window was smiling. Suddenly the floor creaked behind him. The attic door slammed shut on its own, and the room plunged into suffocating darkness. James fumbled for his flashlight, but it wouldn't turn on. The scent of lilacs thickened, wrapping around his throat like invisible fingers. He could hear her now. Soft footsteps circling him, her breath cold against his neck. "Stay with me," she whispered. Then something brushed against his arm. A cold, skeletal hand. He could feel the brittle bones beneath his fingertips. He bolted for the door, yanking at the handle until it gave way. Tumbling down the stairs, he gasped for air, chest heaving. The next morning, he packed his things. The house wasn't for him. Something told him it was never meant to be. As he drove away, he glanced at the attic window. There she stood, watching, waiting, forever. Thanks for tuning in to Scary Bedtime Stories. Keep the lights on tonight. You never know who might be watching.